Their shadows slid slowly across the burning desert floor, drifting over 8 figures hanging upside down from mesquite trees, 8 Apache girls, bound at the ankles, left to die under the pitiless Arizona sun. Blood trickled down their foreheads. Their long black hair swayed like lifeless snakes in the breeze. Their muffled whimpers barely rose above the wind. And over the ridge rode the last man anyone expected to stop. Elias Crowder, loner rancher, former scout, and a man who had long given up on saving anything in this world. He wasn't a hero. That part of him had died years ago. But when he saw them, dangling like butchered deer, something inside him ignited, something he thought he'd buried forever. Chapter 1, The Discovery. Elias had been heading back to his small homestead after searching 3 days for 2 missing cows. The sun was sinking, the sky swollen orange, and he was bone-tired. He wanted nothing more than cold water and silence. Instead, he heard crying. Not loud crying, just the soft, defeated kind a person makes when they've run out of hope. Elias pulled his horse to a stop. The world seemed to hold its breath. There, just beyond the ridge, 8 young girls, no older than 10 to 17, tied upside down, wrists bound behind their backs, lips cracked with thirst, faces flushed with fever. Apache. Elias scanned the ground. Wagon tracks, boot prints, discarded whiskey bottles, and the remnants of a makeshift camp. Whoever did this had left recently. He dismounted slowly. For a man like him, white, living on the edge of Apache territory, helping them meant trouble. Maybe death. Their tribe could just as well mistake him for the attacker. The killers might return. And the sheriff. He wouldn't care. No one did. But Elias Crowder couldn't turn away from suffering. Not anymore. Chapter 2, The Rescue. He cut the first girl down and caught her in his arms before her skull hit the dirt. She wheezed, tried to speak, but her throat was too dry. He laid her in the shade. The second girl fought against him weakly, her eyes full of fear, but he spoke soft, telling her she was safe. By the time he reached the 6th girl, his hands were shaking. Their feet were purple from hours of pressure. Their heads throbbed. Their breathing shallow. One girl, a small one, didn't move at all. Elias pressed his ear to her chest. A heartbeat, faint, but alive. He exhaled shakily and continued. When all 8 lay before him, he rode to his saddlebag, grabbed his canteen, and gave each only a sip. Too much water too fast would kill them. Then he looked around. Whoever had done this was sending a message. To whom? Why? And why 8 girls? Chapter 3, The Chase Begins. He built a small fire, boiled water, tore strips from his own shirt for bandages. As he worked, one of the older girls blinked awake, tall, hair matted with blood, eyes fierce despite her condition. Why help us? She rasped. Elias paused. He hadn't told this story in years. Because once, he whispered, no one helped my family. Her gaze softened. She nodded in understanding. Before dawn, he knew he had to move them, far from this place. So he built a travois behind his horse, lifted the weakest girls onto it, and helped the stronger ones walk beside him. The journey was slow, agonizing. But danger wasn't far behind. A shot cracked through the early morning stillness. Elias dove, pushing the nearest girl to the dirt. Dust exploded next to his boot. He spotted the shooter, a man on horseback, half a mile away, rifle raised. The killers were returning. Chapter 4, Blood on the Ground. He fired warning shots, not to kill but to scatter them. He knew they weren't expecting resistance. 8 wounded girls shouldn't have had any rescue. But now they had him. And Elias Crowder was a man who didn't run when it mattered. He guided the girls into a rocky canyon, taking a defensive stance behind a cluster of boulders. 3 riders approached, drunk, sloppy, but armed. Crowder. One shouted. Those ain't yours. Leave 'em and ride off. Elias didn't answer. He fired. The canyon erupted in gunfire. For 15 brutal minutes, he fought like a man possessed. One rider went down. Another fled with a wounded arm. The last charged. Elias struck him with the butt of his rifle, knocking him senseless. Silence returned. The Apache girls stared at him, not with fear this time, but astonishment. Why, fight for us? One whispered. Elias didn't know how to answer. But he felt it, the old pain rising in his chest. Years ago, his wife and child had been killed in a raid. No one came to help them. No one tried. He lived with that shame every day. Not again, he vowed. Not to anyone else. Chapter 5, Return to the Tribe. Hours later, smoke appeared on the horizon, Apache signal smoke. The girls straightened. Our people, the eldest said weakly. You saved us. They will come. And come they did. 20 warriors rode toward them, silent, stern, uncertain. Their leader, a broad man with deep scars, dismounted and knelt beside the girls. His eyes trembled. My daughters, he breathed. All 8 girls. His daughters. Elias stepped back, suddenly feeling out of place. The chief rose slowly and approached him. You saved my blood, he said quietly. This debt is not small. Elias bowed his head, but the chief wasn't finished. The men who did this, they wished to start war between us. You prevented it. You, a rancher. The Apache warriors placed their hands over their hearts, an honor rarely given to an outsider. The chief turned to his people. We ride to heal, he said. Tonight we celebrate life. Then he faced Elias. You will join us. Elias hesitated. He hadn't felt welcome anywhere in years. But the 8 girls were looking at him with soft eyes, grateful, safe, alive. He nodded. Chapter 6, The Unthinkable ACT. That night, around the fire, the chief spoke publicly. This man, he announced, did the unthinkable. He risked his life to save what others would have left to die. Elias felt emotion tighten his throat. The eldest girl, Alana, stood and approached him. Her voice was steady. You gave us back our future, she said. We will not forget. The youngest girl, barely 10, hugged him without warning. He froze, then slowly embraced her back. He hadn't held a child since his own daughter. Something healed inside him, quietly, deeply. Chapter 7, A New Dawn. When morning came, the tribe prepared to move. The chief handed Elias a decorated spear. A symbol, he said, of trust, of peace, of brotherhood. Elias accepted it, humbled. As he rode home, he realized something profound. For the first time in a decade, he didn't feel alone. He didn't feel like a ghost. He felt human again, because saving others had saved him. Ending message, the power of a single ACT. Months later, the Apache tribe and the nearby settlers forged a fragile peace. Trade routes opened. Violence dropped. Travelers could pass the territory without fear. All because one man, broken, tired, and haunted, did the unthinkable. And 8 sisters survived to become symbols of unity, strength, and hope. Elias often visited them, bringing supplies and stories. And every time he approached their camp, the girls ran to greet him with laughter. He had lost a family once. But now, he had found another.